allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The minutes have been circulated. Everyone have a chance to review those. Any corrections, questions, anything? Do I have a motion to approve the
Zoning
minutes?
ordinance is hereby amended as follows.
Come on. What is it doing?
It's playing instead of listening.
Do I have a
There it
motion to
goes.
approve
Now
the
it's
minutes?
recording.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay,
warrant.
bills is submitted by the town clerk.
Okay. I'll do it now. Too many pieces of paper. There's yours right there. Okay. The total for the general fund, which includes the half-year payments to Mr. Engelbrecht, to Susan Bartholomew, which I have the wrong amount.
Yeah, so let me just correct that. So Susan's paid for the first quarter of 2023, so that is $1,200,
Okay.
not the $2,400.
Yeah,
So you can take that off your
yeah.
list.
And the payment to the BAR, and were the checks paid in advance? I couldn't figure out their invoice.
The deluxe checks?
Yeah, the deluxe
Yes,
checks.
he had to order more,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Okay, the checks paid in advance, that was blank checks, $629.57.
Yeah, Susan gave me about that many, so that wasn't gonna
Yeah.
pass through very far.
And the total of the general fund is $27,739.12. The highway fund,
That'll be without the 2,400, though, right?
yeah, I'll change
Yes, they
it
asked
before
me.
I put it in the book.
Yeah.
Where am I? Oh, the total of the highway fund was $74,004.00. The total expenditures was $101,743.12. And that also included, the highway was the, it was stone, was washed stone, correct?
Yeah, material sand and gravel.
Yeah, material sandy gravel, yeah. So that's what brought that one up, okay?
Before we approve the warrant, I did want to say that the BAR did a really nice job with grievance day. And grievance day lasted more than one day. It lasted through the entire Memorial Day weekend. I came here on Memorial Day and they were all still here working. They only took Sunday off from that weekend. And I think the least we can do is pay for their lunch. I did get invoices for their lunches and I want to submit those, if it's okay with the board, for reimbursement.
I was also thinking, I think they put in over 51 hours, and they did a lot of work above and beyond what they normally do. This was an unusual year, and I think we should compensate them, increase their salary for this year, a one-time deal. I believe we can do that.
Absolutely.
What's your recommendation?
I had heard that they worked over 50 hours. How many grievances did they see?
131,
And on a normal year, less than 10?
less than 5.
Less than
Well, no,
5.
5.
Yeah.
4 or 5.
So it's a whole different event this year. So,
What I would recommend, it's open to the board for discussion and so forth, but what I was thinking of increasing it by $500, so it would be $700 for this year. If you figure that out, it's still below minimum wage. And not only did they put a lot of hours in, I know it must have been very hectic and nerve-wracking and so forth to go through that process. But that would be my recommendation.
So you're proposing an extra 500 to give them each 700?
Yes.
You can
Second.
change the voucher.
Yeah. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, discussion.
No, I think they've earned that for the 51 hours, and I imagine a lot of grief they heard.
I agree, it's $13 an hour works out. Okay.
Okay, so the motion is to increase each of the BAR, which is 3 members, by $500, paying them each $700 for this year for their work with the BAR, and then reimburse them for their lunch, which comes out to about $100.
Sure.
You want that as two separate motions, you want that as one? You want
You can
lunch
do it as
separate?
one.
One motion.
Okay,
That's
okay.
fine.
So I have a motion, I have a second. Everybody had discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Thank you. Then you can just change
Okay, any questions on the warrant?
the amount.
Okay, so we'll make those changes, yeah, and then get them to Ben. I am still doing the abstract for Ben, so I'll do that. Or do I have a motion to pay the bills?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Supervisors report, so I printed out April because we didn't officially have April at the last meeting, and then I printed out May, and you guys also had this in advance, so you can look at it. Anything that stands out in the budget?
This one is May. This is April.
Okay, so, the A account has $1,518,078.19. The DA account has $478,467.37. H1 account, $95,685.33. H3 account, $135,000, for a total of $2,232,029.69. He also gave us the outstanding checks. And I don't know what any of these go to, but we'll just monitor them and see if the checks are cleared in our next supervisor's report. Questions?
We do have a couple pluses in the A 2770 unclassified, that's 9,000 odd, what would that be from?
A 2770?
Yeah. It's a good thing, but
I'm
it just
looking
was
for
kinda
that.
weird that there's a 9,000.
I would have to look at my revenue statement. I did give you this month's revenue statement. Let's see. Another thing, what this month to that account, so I'd have to look. Can I research it and get back to you?
Yep. Yep. It's a good thing to have, but I didn't know what it was.
Yeah. Anything else?
No, look good.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the supervisor's report?
I'll make the motion.
Second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then the revenue statement, as you can see, we got money from the town justice and 2 checks from Oneida County. You can see what accounts those were allocated to. Highway superintendent's report.
I would like to start off by stating that I do not give permission to anyone that wants to post me on any social media platform, so thank you ahead of time for respecting me and my choice. I'd like to submit a check for $5,275 from Auctions International for the sale of surplus items from the Highway Department. I will also be submitting a check for $508.40 for a driveway culvert. This is a total of $5,783.40. I have brought with me tonight the Oneida County mowing agreement as well as the county ditching agreement for Diane to sign. Ditching can generate up to $13,600 for our town. We participated in this agreement last year. It was a great success. The county was very pleased with our work. The mowing contract will generate $7,361 for our town. This brings a total of $20,361. The county pays additional money for snow plowing, not included here tonight. The new mower that we ordered is now in, and I would like to make sure that everyone is on board with the purchase. It's a 75-inch Diamond brand flail mower that will be going on the new John Deere tractor. The cost is $35,600, and I would like to have it on record that for approval or not. And I brought the the agreement, if anyone wanted to look at it again.
So that, you said that the town will make 7,000 or whatever, is that?
$7,361.
So is that deducting the hours of the men that are working, plus, you know, so if they're doing the county stuff, that means they're not doing the town stuff?
Mowing.
And ditching and stuff?
The
right? You
ditching,
just brought up the
the
ditching.
ditching is $13,600
Okay, so
for
that's
40 hours.
so the man hours that they're not doing the town stuff and the truck usage and the fuel and all that stuff, has that all been deducted from that 13,000?
It's per hour. I sent everybody the agreements to review
Okay.
already ahead of
But
time.
I just,
So-
the numbers are out there, cause usually the county, they don't give us, it's not a give, it's a wash when you're all said and done. It's not where you're really
If you
making money.
guys, if you all do not want us to participate and use our fuel in the truck, in the grade
I'm
off.
just saying, it's just a
right.
wash, it generally doesn't make money for one or the other, it's a wash all said and done. If you start deducting your fuel and stuff like that.
Shall we just tell them, no, they can do their own?
I'm not saying that, I'm just
Oh, okay.
putting it out there that
Okay.
it's generally just a wash, the town doesn't generally make any money on working with the county or not.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. Can we talk about the mower, or do we, I mean, maybe we don't wanna mow the county roads, I don't know.
No.
You gotta do it now or at the end,
Right.
you gotta make a motion on those, signing those, the ditching and the ditching contract and the mowing contract.
Okay, so does someone wanna make a motion for those contracts to be signed?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Like I said, it's just a wash.
So you wanna
Yeah.
do them separate, or do you do them combined? They could be combined. Shelley?
Ditching and lawnmower.
Yeah, I think,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So those are fine.
So.
Now, on the mower, we already approved that back in the spring.
Well,
but now you
it was
want
kind of a
additional-
gray area, because
Okay.
then it was kind of backtracked to, well, we're gonna order it, but then when it gets here, then
We
I
decided
just wanna
we
make
want it,
sure
yeah.
that it's black and white, that we're gonna go ahead
Okay.
and order the mower for the tractor.
Okay, just for clarification,
Right,
I feel it's a good purchase, we need the mower, so I'll make a motion that we proceed with the purchase.
And what's the cost again?
$35,600.
Second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
The sand quotes are in. Oh, here, let me hand them out to you. Okay, the sand quotes are in. DA Schellenberg came in with the lowest price. Fish Creek came in second place. If you were to convert Fish Creek's quote from tons to yards, it equates to $1.50 per yard more than the Schellenberg bid, or quote. I've also included all the sand bids through Oneida County as well. So there's several different bids in there. With the close proximity as well as the lowest price per yard, it's in the best interest of the highway department to purchase up to 5,000 yards of sand through DA Schellenberg for the upcoming winter season. Well, here, you don't want to get it out.
I know. He's keeping the.
I thought they were just one copy, and I was just writing out a couple of
No, I'm
notes.
sorry.
I wasn't
I was giving it to everybody.
You should have just let me behind that.
I was patiently waiting for him to discover that he had them all.
I was just starting with the cover. Yeah.
Can I have Thompson, I do the motion?
Okay.
Okay, there's
Do
Ryan.
we need a motion for this?
To purchase, yes.
I'll make a
Okay.
motion that we purchase the
Purchase the new
sand
mower.
from the lowest
Now the sand,
bidder, Schellenberg.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
I see that the town supervisor made a truck payment last month. This is the only loan that the highway department has left. I have the early payoff, I'm gonna give this to you, Larry, and you're gonna pass it out.
Is it more than one copy?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, I need the sticky though.
Oh, yeah, now
I need
you
the
got that
sticky,
back.
all right, okay. So I have the early payoff balance with me tonight for the 2019 plow truck. Larry and I have spoken about the idea of paying this truck off early to make budget room for the new truck on order. There's no penalty for early payoff, but a savings of $546.92. It looks like our new plow truck will be a model year 2024. It's totally up to you guys if you want to go ahead with the early payment or if you want to just wait till 2024. but it is a savings of $546.
Good save.
And with the 2 truck payments and the new mower, that brings our machinery total to $95,445.18. And this leaves $34,554.82 that can roll over to the H3 account that has the $135,000 in it now. Because the highway department does not plan on purchasing any more machinery for the year.
Where does it tell us what our current balance is?
Well, it's $30,196.05.
Okay, so
That's what
okay.
we paid last month.
Yep, but you know how the last month, with the end of the term, a lot of times it's a little bit lower, so I didn't know if it was the same amount that we've been paying every.
If you pay it by June 29th of this month, that's the total, the $546 savings.
I don't know why we wouldn't. It's there.
I would recommend paying it off, say for $500. This way we can position ourselves for the 2024 truck.
I'll make the motion. Is that what we're asking for? I'll make the motion.
And I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so we gotta add this to the,
Yeah, here's a mixed voucher, I gave you,
yes.
I gave you extra ones.
So it looks like our new plow truck will be a model year 2024. I emailed the town board the plow truck sales order and full details ahead of time. The cost of the new truck will be, hold your breath, $320,787.09. The town board needs to vote on the terms and conditions tonight so that Tracy Rhodes can proceed with our plow truck order. And I talked with John Roden, he said that nobody's reached out to him with any questions. But in the past, the town has done the municipal lease and they've done a prepayment, because you can do a prepayment or an arrears payment. And there should be no payment till 2024. So tonight, all I'm looking for is the okay to proceed with the purchase of the truck, because it won't be coming for several more months.
Right.
And that was with we did what, 50,000 on prepayment?
So,
Looks like
I think we
50,000.
do that, yes, 50, I'm pretty sure.
That was
I'm
like
not sure, but
yeah.
like you said, the details
John,
can be worked out.
John has all that.
Yeah.
When does that final decision have to be made on, like, how many years or anything like that?
Not for a few more months,
Okay.
but just tonight needs to be the sign off saying, okay, we're gonna
Move
proceed
forward.
with, yeah, right,
Yeah.
or we lose it.
Okay. Yeah, I would say we have to definitely move forward, because we gotta keep the plow trucks refreshed. And it's, what, 2-year waiting period and so forth?
Yeah, right.
If you're looking at me, we gotta have equipment, I'll make the motion. I mean, it's a lot of money, I'll tell you, it's an ungodly
is.
amount of money.
Everything
is.
is up.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
This is to allow Amanda to proceed with the paperwork and all the stuff.
Well, no, we haven't
Or
agreed on
Just-
terms or
no, no,
anything,
just
just
to
to purchase the
proceed.
2024.
Purchase.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did you have the total cost of the truck?
I just have 320,000,
78709.
78709, right, yeah, I wrote that down real quick.
Okay. Summer work season is full steam ahead. Stay safe out there. And that's all I have for tonight. There's a lot.
Questions? Do I have a motion to approve the highway superintendent's report?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor? Okay, for correspondence, I have that letter again from Adirondack. If you remember last year, they sent us a letter about that summer program that they have, right?
Yeah.
And when I reached out to them to ask them, like you guys wanted me to ask how many of the Westernville kids participate in the program, she couldn't answer the question, then never got back to me. So it's dated May 4th. For the past 2 years, the Adirondack Central School held the Wild Camp for students grades K through 5 from 11:30 to 2:30 for 5 weeks. Wildcats Camp immediately, say that 5 times fast, immediately followed summer school for 5 weeks. Transportation and meals were included in the program. Approximately 170 students attended the Wildcats Camp last year, and staff, I think they do that on purpose. And staffing was set at an 8-to-1 ratio. The cost of the program last year was approximately $27,000. Last summer, the program was moved to the high school, middle school complex to incorporate swimming, sports, arts and crafts, music, enrichment, and STEAM. The intention is to keep students engaged and active over the summer months. The program is incredibly well received with our students, the majority of them returning from the year prior. Previously, the summer recreation program was offered to students that reside in the town and village of Boonville and funded solely by local municipalities. We would like to continue to offer it to all students in the district. Therefore, we are looking for sponsorship from each town to help fund the program. As our hope, this can be a community event for the students of Adirondack Central School. Please feel free to come with questions. So last year, as you guys wanted, I reached out and asked how many Westernville children participated, and they couldn't answer the question.
That's the smallest school district in the town of Westernville uses, right? Only Patton and Rum are larger.
Well, to me, it doesn't matter. I mean, they didn't give you a number, they didn't fulfill their
Right.
request.
Right.
I mean, if you're gonna ask for something, you gotta give them all the information.
Right.
I would say no.
I agree.
Okay, I got a request from Mike Anania on text. Let's see. Mike. He needs a letter from the town stating we give the fire department permission to use our radio frequency. So I didn't know if that meant the tower, Peter, maybe you can answer, or if that was the 650 that he likes to keep in the contract.
No, that's the tower.
Okay,
We don't use it.
right. But we paid for it, so that the fire department could use it.
Yeah, I thought you were working on getting the radios back too.
Right, and we talked about the radios, I had come up with a quote, and I would like to wait till a little later in the fall in case any other emergencies pop up, because I don't, there's been a lot of pushback and.
But the town still has that channel.
Right, and I was gonna eliminate it, because it was sold, and I was gonna eliminate it, and then the board decided it was probably good to keep it.
What's the pushback? I don't understand.
Well, because they have their cell phones, but there are a few dead areas through there. You can put them in there, but will they use them? You know what I mean? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them
If it
drink.
helps them out once, I guess it's worth it.
Right, I agree, and I'm not saying we're not gonna do it, I've talked with JPJ, and, we'll make a decision in a couple more months, like I said, I mean, emergencies pop up, and I just wanna make sure that we have the money there for the radios.
I think twice last winter, they had an ambulance off the road that I had to tell Amanda about, that they didn't know.
Yeah, it was probably the fire department.
So, I mean, she could have called somebody that was closer, but she had to leave and go plow the way for the ambulance. So, I just think that I don't see why they are afraid of using the radio.
Right.
It's just truck to truck conversation. And to me, being in a construction background too, even in the summer, you tell a guy to drive that's filling a truck or whatever, you can communicate real quick to say back up, go ahead, whatever. But no, I think that the fire company they'll use it for a talk around. So we won't tie up any of the main channels for fire or 911.
So nobody has a problem with me doing it for letter, right?
No. It's also a requirement of OPP drivers. State OPP, which the town has never afforded to do that, which they really oughta. But that's one of the requirements, that they have radio controls and the radio communication in the trucks.
So we're gonna revisit the trucks?
Oh, absolutely, yeah,
Okay.
I never said we weren't going
Right,
to,
okay.
absolutely, yep,
Okay.
yep, for sure, this fall.
Okay, the other correspondence I have is Mary's resignation to the planning board, and there was a temporary appointment anyway, and she submitted her resignation effective April 10th, 2023, and I do have that under new business to fill that slot. So I have for correspondence. Comments from the visitors, no Lisa, no John. Oh, John, hello, how are you?
Good, thanks. How are you guys?
Good.
I have to apologize. I was trying to bring up the announcements on my phone, and I should have done it before I got here.
Not working out so well, huh?
And I know that too. I don't know why I didn't do it. I should have had a radio. The only announcement I can remember, if I can't get this to pop up here off the top of my head, is the Tug Hill Commission recently purchased it's a traffic counter that they will come out and put over a road for a week if you wanted to monitor traffic on a certain road, either prior to construction or if you're looking for a grant to replace a bridge to see what the traffic may be. And from what I understand, oh look, I did bring it up. It's a pretty neat thing where they can actually, you can tell speed, you can tell, like, so if you have a speed zone that you get an awful lot of people that are speeding on, it tells you the speed of it, it tells you if you got overweight vehicles on it, it will tell you what you do with the information. I'm not 100% sure, you know, it's just nice to have. But it's a pretty neat program, and if you're interested in it, it's Gabriel Yurden up at the Tug Hill office. He and Amanda, or I think it's Taylor, will come and set it up. And you collect the data for a week, and then they'll make a report and send it back to the town.
I think that would be great, especially along here, Main Street, you know, we've got the park there, the library, and people are constantly speeding down here.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we could do county roads, so can we, like, if
So,
we
you know, there was a question in Sylvan Beach, because their main street is actually a state route. And they want to do a week of holiday traffic, like 4th of July, and then compare it to a week of non-holiday traffic to see, you know, just the difference between the two. I don't think there's any restrictions on the state or county road, because you're still using the numbers for your own database.
Okay, so you have that information, what does it enable you to do?
Well, a lot of it's going to be like, especially when it comes to grants, like if you let's say you do have a county road that's getting an awful lot of traffic and the county road is falling into disrepair, you can say to the county, this is the information, this is the amount of traffic that goes across this road on a daily basis or a weekly basis, and it should be a higher priority. You know, things like that. It really is, it's a lot of information that you can use for whatever reason you may need it.
Right, there sounds like they want to use it for speed control.
You can use it for, you can take
Yeah,
it.
talk to the sheriffs,
Yep,
so, like, does it time it?
I think what it does is, so you have two, basically tubes that go across the road, and depending on the speed, you know, when they click 1, click 2, it can tell you how fast they're going. So if you want to take it to the
But does
county,
it give you the time of day?
I believe it does.
So, because I've asked the sheriffs to sit over here before
Mm-hmm.
with traffic speeding through, but it'd be nice to tell them what time of day.
That you get a lot of traffic where it's speeding through.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not 100% sure, but I know it's a pretty neat system. So, I mean, if you did take that data and say, listen, 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Fridays, we get a lot of traffic that's going through here really quick, and you send somebody.
So those kids on the bicycles, you gotta watch them.
Well, see, and the other thing too, though, you can use the same system to monitor snowmobile trails, you know, if you wanted to see your recreational traffic or something like that too. So it's a pretty neat system, you know. And again, it's whatever you do with the information is totally up to you. But if you want some information on that, you can definitely get that your way. Let me see if I can read this. Oh, of course, the consolidated funding applications are all open. In the announcements, I listed a whole page of different grants. I think the appeal of that consolidated funding is you do one application, and if it's applicable to more than one grant, then you can use that fund, or use that application on on more than one grant. You know, there's infrastructure grants, there's Main Street programs, there's tourism grants. There's a lot of grants that are available, a lot of funding all at once. And I think the Tug Hill Commission could help you fill out some of those applications if need be. If anybody's not doing anything this Thursday, you're welcome to join me and Larry at the NOCCOG Executive Committee meeting down in Trenton. And that's really about it.
Great, thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Jamie?
Jamie Wilbert, I'm here representing the library. Playground is in.
It looks fantastic.
Absolutely. Ball. They didn't give us enough chips, those were delivered this morning. And Andre said they'll put those in place Wednesday. Hopefully it's not pouring rain. Our grand celebration for the 100-year anniversary is at 7 o'clock on Thursday, June 29th. There's a whole slate of people that are just gonna say a word or two, Diane included, and refreshments and a raffle basket, and we encourage everybody to come and join us. And then following that, Veronica Murphy is going to do a walking tour in the town that shows the house where it started, and then the next 2 houses it moved to, and then the town hall, and then finally ended up in the building that it's in. So it's really fun.
Yeah, it's neat.
Our craft fair is on Saturday, July 8th, and we are encouraging the town to do their garage sales on the same day. I'm throwing it out there that maybe people would want to send me their name and address if they're doing a garage sale, and we'll make up a flyer that we can either post or hand out at the craft fair. Help people get some visibility as to where they're going to be. Probably the best way to do that would be to message the town library Facebook post, and I can get it from there. Mary Jo has some programs coming up. There's a Bubble Man coming on June 27th. I don't know what a Bubble Man is.
He puts himself in a bubble, you've never seen that?
It's at 6:30
Very neat.
on June 27th, so that must be a Tuesday.
It's a, oh yeah, Tuesday.
When I get some information, I'll put that out on Facebook. There's an intern at the cooperative extension this summer that was looking for something to do, and she's gonna do a series, Dairy in the Classroom, July 6th through August 24th, every Thursday at 2:30. So I'll get some information from Mary Jo and get that out on Facebook as well. And then she's got Falcon Heart Rescue, Thursday, July 27th at 6:30. And then the only other thing I wanted to bring up is that the construction grant portal is open for the New York State construction grant. And by June 25th, we need to post our intent to apply. And that is not binding. Once we get our ducks in a row, we actually do the application that is binding. And I forget what the due date is of that. It's in August, I think. The committee that's working on the renovation for the basement, which is what we would like to focus this on, has broken it down into 3 phases because we were trying to keep the cost down annually. And to do what needs to be done down there would exceed that cost. So it's gonna be broken down into 3 phases. The first phase that they wanted to work on, they asked Stephen Bourne to give an estimate of what it is they were looking for. And that came in at $51,200.
What does that detail?
You want me to go into some detail?
Yeah,
Okay.
if you would, Larry. I'm
Yeah.
not on the committee and Larry is, so.
Yeah, Len
And
and
then
I-
this is the same thing that the town is responsible for so much of the grant, right? Same
if they
terms
get the-
before.
Right,
Yeah,
when
okay.
they apply for the grant. This first thing is just intent to apply.
Yeah.
Len and I met with Steve. What we're proposing for phase 1 is for the lower level. Basically, in the main section there of the lower level, takes down all the old paneling and the insulation right down to the concrete. It's gonna put up new framing, new foam insulation, wallboard, painting it, finishing that all off. It's going to remove the old ceiling, all the old ductwork and so forth, because we were gonna be able to raise the ceiling without the ductwork there and so forth. It's a new frame for ceiling, lighting and so forth. That's in the main part. The hallway right next to the boiler, what we're proposing is it's gonna remove that wall and move it closer to the boiler room. That way that hallway is gonna be more open. It's gonna, do all wallboard in that, lighting, ceiling, replacing that heavy door that nobody can open. And then also, in addition to this, the new entryway with the chairlift and so forth, it's gonna do all insulation in there and wallboard painting and so forth. So it's basically getting the lower level and the entryway, so it could be used for meetings and whatever they want to use it for.
And that whole thing that you just said, you estimate 51,000 for that?
That's what Steve Bourne
Just
came
for
in.
phase 1.
Yep, that's phase 1.
That's just a projection.
Right.
Right, yeah. Just enough so they can submit the intent to go with the grant and so forth.
So the goal is to have that space as a community space, and we'd like it to be ADA compliant.
Which would require a bathroom on that level.
And that will be in
Which would be
another
a pump-up
phase.
toilet.
Right,
Wow.
that'd be phase 2 or 3.
But one of the examples of what we could use it for is Rita's been teaching a youth sewing class, and we've been using the children's room on Saturday mornings, and you get other kids that come in and want to use the room, and then the kids that are learning to sew are young enough that they get distracted. And this phase that she was in this past Saturday, she needed more space because they were doing pattern cutting, so she actually moved over here in order to use these tables. If we had that basement space, those problems are eliminated.
It's creepy down there.
It won't be, it will be wonderful. We'll throw you a birthday party down there.
That back room, man, I used to check behind me, make sure nothing was walking on me. I was like, wow.
The other thing we're doing is working in conjunction.
You ever been in there back stairway? God.
We're working in conjunction with the Historical Society because they're using those 2 office spaces for archives, and they would be interested in some space for display of artifacts that they have. So we have to work out how that would work in and not infringe on the space that we need for the community.
So for tonight, do you need a motion to move forward, or you guys are gonna put in your intent and then we have to worry about the motion when you actually do the application?
I think we need to have a motion to move forward.
Okay.
Because once we get into working on the details of it and get it in the system, then we're locked in, because once we've applied, we're held to doing the project.
Right.
And Len, you're not on the board for library, right? No. Okay, so only us three would be able to.
Right, yeah. Abstain.
I'll make the motion
Right,
to move on.
back up a little
I'll
bit.
second.
Okay, a motion for the library to move forward to apply for the grant. or
Yes.
To get everything together to apply.
To put in an intent to apply,
Yeah.
not to
Right.
apply.
Right.
Wait, I thought we were making a motion to actually apply, to move forward with it.
Right, to move forward, but I thought that you said you have to put in your intent now and then the application after.
But
We could make
what-
the motion
I don't know what
now,
we
so
would
that-
bring back.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
I don't know what we would bring back that's different than what we have tonight.
Okay.
I
All right,
guess.
so to move forward,
With application then, right?
Yes,
For improvements to the lower level
Right.
at the library.
and probably should put in there phase 1.
Yeah.
okay.
We might as well put in there the quoted,
I was just gonna say with the
Yeah.
estimate of
the
51,000.
projected estimate is
There
51,200.
were more things in there than you mentioned. The electrical obviously has to be
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
done for sheet rock.
So,
Yeah, and new baseboard heaters.
Yeah.
okay, we have a motion on the floor.
Well, they'll give us a full scope.
Yeah.
They'll give us a full scope of work.
And seconded.
Well, it's
Yeah.
gonna have to
well,
go up to
they-
bid
They
anyway.
needed this,
Right, yeah.
they needed this
But, okay.
projection to.
The dollar
submit.
amount.
Yeah.
Okay, let me
Okay.
ask, is any member of the board abstaining?
I have to.
So Ryan made the motion.
Right, I got that, Peter
Yeah,
seconded it.
Peter seconded it.
And Larry is abstaining.
Yep, for the library to
Yeah.
move forward with the application
Yeah.
for phase 1 renovation to the
Yeah.
basement.
Yep,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Okay,
Thank
so
you.
that's 3.
Thank you very much.
Anything else?
No, that's it, thanks.
Rita? Bill?
Nice poll, Rita.
I can think of things I can do with this.
Yeah, just with respect to the additional compensation for the bar, speaking for myself only, the additional compensation, I really don't want that. I just consider that my civic duty. I'll just take the annual stipend that was normal and of course the pizza.
Okay.
Okay?
I really commend you guys because you really had a tough job this time and you really, I mean, you guys were working here all through a holiday weekend and I don't think people realize, people in town realize how much effort that went, you guys put through for that.
okay.
So, thank you. Anything else? Anything else, Bill?
No, I'm good.
Don?
Yes, I did give you folks a handout, so I won't take a lot of time, but I did want to read a couple of things. Requests that I wanted to help clear up some issues that I've been having with respect to recording folks in the town hall. And so some of those things are things that, Diane, you had mentioned that you had discussed already, so if I duplicate any of that, I apologize, okay?
Well, I just want to make it clear that public meetings are open to, are to the open meeting law.
Yeah.
Town board meetings, planning board, zoning board, but town officials doing business is not.
Right.
A private
So-
meeting here is
Right,
not.
Right, so that, and that's what I wanted to cover here. So Carol Middleton, myself, and a couple of other folks that are here tonight have signed a basic agreement in this. So we request that the town of Western across its board, town planning and zoning, in lieu of manually holding cameras about the room, that we get one single camera that we can put here and then leave the one in the back to catch the back of people that might want to comment. Nobody will be over there, it won't move, it just sits there, so it's not in the way. We would request that. And the microphone, which we appreciate you allowing us to put that in there. It helps people hear that can't make it here to the meeting exactly what's being deliberated here in the meetings by you folks, so I appreciate that as well. For town constituents, we're requesting that we have a list of groups, parties, persons, clubs, political, social gatherings, or other meetings that currently get scheduled here at the town hall or at other public properties, whether those meetings are public or private in nature and in law, just so that we don't interrupt anybody that has a private meeting. That's not what we want to do. We want to make sure that public access is given out to the people that can't make it to those public events. So that's what we're striving to do. I'm thinking, posting these on the calendar at the Towpath website so that we know, yes, there's a meeting at the town hall. We don't have to drive by and see something going on and then ask what's happening in our town hall for those people that maybe can't make it or whatever. We would like to know what's happening at the town hall as well. So if there's something going on and we don't know something's posted, we have a question and we would like to have an answer to that. That's all. Additionally, that list should include, private uses of the town property so that the public knows how the property that their town is managing for them is being used. I think it's important that everyone has access to that information. And Lawrence, I appreciate the effort and work that you're putting into the website, and every day it's getting better and better and better. So we appreciate that as well. I'm hoping that we can get as much of that on there so people, constituents of the town, can get a better feel for what's happening in the town for themselves.
So can I ask you, some of this
Sure.
relevant to the people that haven't been elected yet over at the store? Because I heard there was an issue with recording over there as well.
I don't know if there's an issue, I was
Okay.
recording.
Because those people weren't elected officials, they're not elected yet. So, I mean, quite frankly, I don't know how the town board would ever say that they can tell people they have to allow anybody.
Yeah, the town board.
If they're not elected officials, I don't know how we can tell them.
Yeah, if
to say that they have to.
it's a public gathering on private property, this has nothing to do with the town.
Right,
Yeah,
that's where it was,
absolutely.
okay.
Yep. So, we would like a listing made available to the town constituents of all the resources available in the town hall for public access and/or use or review without requiring a New York State FOIL. Along with the times that those documents or things would be available for our review or anybody's review. Resources such as historical documents that Mary may have, lots of stuff here in town. Town statutes, town laws, emergency contacts, historical zoning, planning, and town documents of general or specific interest, and other resources that I may not have covered there. Whatever is available for folks to see at the town without a FOIL, that would be nice to know. It would be nice for the constituents to have access to that. And then number 4, so we're asking for a detailed listing of all the activities that are available to town constituents for the use of the town park, the town hall, town library, the town annex, and any other property that's public access in the town of Western. And I would like that to be very specific, such as the activities allowed and the activities prohibited in these public areas, specifically prohibited activities such as the constitutional rights that we have to meet and gather and speak about political things and or religious things, or just speak our minds about things, and whatever else we may want to discuss on public property. If you're going to disallow any of those, we really need to know that we're not allowed free speech or to talk about political things and things like town parks and other public venues like this. So, and finally, if it's possible, we would like a copy of these to be entered into, of this request to be entered into the minutes for this meeting, to be posted online when those are finally approved by you folks. Okay, I
Thank you.
appreciate your help.
Thanks.
And thanks for your assistance tonight.
Steve?
I don't really have much to report. We've all been through the same thing here, and you've watched the DAR operate. I did turn in the final rule to the county a week ago today. And I sent you folks a report that was part of that. I'm not sure if you caught it or not, but the value of the town is now set at $219 million. When GAR came out with their initial proposed assessments on March 3rd, it was 227. The difference is basically a combination, and I don't have the exact breakdown, of the reductions that they did through their reviews, what I did through stipulation agreements, and what the grievance board did through their process. I know that mine was probably the least, but whether GAR gave back more or the BAR did, I don't know. I don't know how that breakdown was. If it's important to you folks, I can figure it out, but I just haven't done it. The final roll will be back in our hands and public as a printed and online document on July 1st. There will be a legal notice in the paper. That's a Saturday. There will be a notice in the paper that day. And I have started some talks with the state to see what options might be open to us. I still have a gut feeling that the land values are too high, but I can't just do that on my own in any way, shape, or manner. But I've approached the state as to what might be done to verify that especially the $1,500 an acre land that GAR assigned generally to land is an accurate number, and if there is an opportunity to change that land table somewhat without going through a whole complicated process, but do it through a mass appraisal through the computers, and maybe do some adjustments for next year. I don't know what your feeling is on that, if you want to just leave it alone at this point. But I just wanted to explore some options, which I don't have answers to for you yet, but I've started the conversation with them. They do have their annual figures they come up with, and they also suggested that I watch carefully the land sales this year through the fall and see what I feel at the end of the summer. So I guess that's where I am right now.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Did they give any inclination about how they felt about the $20,000 and $25,000 per lot?
The state?
Yes.
I didn't ask that question specifically.
Can that be asked?
Sure.
Appreciate that, because that seems to be, if you got more parcels and you're automatically, whether it's a 1 acre or a 10 acre, that $20,000 bop on each
Is that your phone?
lot.
Well,
That was something that was in
I
question.
don't think that's unusual. I mean, that's true up in Ava, where I am also an assessor. It's been that way
Okay.
for at least 15 years. And I don't think that's unusual, but I'll look into that and get back to you.
So what's the exact date when the roll is or was final?
July 1st.
July 1st is the
Yes.
finalization date?
Yeah, I have submitted what I feel is my final roll. The county goes through it and makes some adjustments.
I just didn't know if it was final the day you submitted or the day.
No, it's the day that it's legally official.
Okay. That's what, all right, I just wanted that clarified.
Yes.
The big thing people have to remember yet too is none of these taxes have been levied. The biggest pain in the butt that Guard done was give that estimated tax in there, because that was so up, down, all around. And until the school tax is levied, not till sometime in the middle of the second week of August, and we get our bill by September. And then the same with the town and county tax, and it isn't levied until early mid-December. How this is all gonna pan out isn't gonna be known until January. That's just the truth of it, and it's the water in the tub. It's swished one way, it's gonna swish back, and then it's gonna level out. So by the third year, hopefully we'll have this thing kind of in a direction. And it's not any different than any other town that's been through this.
Then we can start over again.
Well, that's possible.
Okay, we're gonna go down the bench.
Craig Smith, Quaker Hill. I got a few things I wanted to go over, but I've only got 5 minutes. Thank you guys. I feel like you guys listened when we had our review, and I appreciate that. You guys definitely had a tall order, so we appreciate that. How would we be able to see like a breakdown of, because all we got was the total, but how would we be able to see like what the, each lot was assessed at, or I mean like each acre or the buildings or anything like that? If you get in touch with me after July 1st, I'll have the final roll. If you printed, you can come in here and spend as much time with you want with it. Yeah, I'm just curious, You can because we got the total numbers, so we still have just the average of.
Oh,
okay,
you
may have to get in touch with me and I'll show you my roll, and that has a breakdown of each parcel. Okay, I'm just curious on that. And next thing, so the tornado was, what, 2 years ago? And the town looks great, it really does. Everyone did a good job. What do we as a town have to do to get the library's got the new park there, or the playground, that looks awesome. My kids were on it last weekend. Thumbs up. So what do we gotta do about getting all the trash and the down trees and the limbs and everything clean? Because everything else looks really good.
The tree, so one person from the town had filed for a DEC permit to be able to clean up the trees. That has not been done. So I was gonna ask if Larry could post the website, the link on our website to apply for a permit, because we've gotta get people over there to get that cleaned up. So whoever's interested and wants to apply for a permit, come and clean it up, because that would be great.
Well, is there a timeline on the one that's there now?
What do you mean a timeline?
You said someone was there now.
Was awarded or gave the
I
permission.
don't, not that I was told. The state just said, when they came over to look at the trees.
No, I think what he's asking is someone was told that they
Right.
could clean it up because they had the permit.
Right, but there's no, I don't think there's a timeline.
No, but is that person going to clean it up or not before we ask for other people to
Well,
come in behind them?
I was told yes, but this has been, I mean, like you said, it's been since
Right.
July of 2021.
Well, should we get
Well,
that
it was
person?
Don, am I correct?
What?
Don was the person that was
Yeah.
going to clean it
Well,
up.
let's ask him now.
He's here, yeah.
Because if he's not going to do it, then let's post it for other people.
I
don't want to.
There should be some kind of agreement to whoever takes the firewood kind of cleans up and
Right.
takes, chips the rest of it and everything. I don't remember who the outfit was that was out here behind the houses that come in right during the tornado, but they said, we'll take the firewood and we'll clean the rest of it up. And I don't remember who that was, if anyone has any idea who that was.
I think it was the state. I think the state came in and did that.
No, it was a
wasn't
tree
state.
service.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can't
Well,
remember. if you
maybe
know.
somebody with like a chipper or something, because the rest of the town looks really good.
Yeah, it does.
There are tree people around, but,
Yeah.
so you got the contract currently for that?
The permit.
No contract, permit.
Okay, is there a timeline where it starts and ends?
I'm hoping to have it done by July, end of July.
Got a lot of work to do.
That's a lot to have done by the end of July.
Yeah, well, we did a lot. We did a lot initially. So,
So let's give him to the end of July, his
Sure.
commitment, and then if not, then we'll repost this for
Okay,
someone else. At
Yeah.
least that's a suggestion.
Yeah.
It's up to.
just because, I'm like, whoever
Yeah.
wants to do that should be able
Sure.
to get a
Yeah.
permit and do it,
Right.
so.
Well, I know, like, there's people here in town that burn wood. Everyone should be over there cutting wood if they want it.
I agree.
Right, that's the state. That's not us, it's the state.
I'm sure if we talk to the right person, they'd be happy for cleaning it up.
I can't
Who'd
say.
you talk to? Don, who'd you reach out to there?
Highway.
Yeah, because when they come out and looked at the trees on 46, they said to me, where's the gentleman that asked us for a permit? And, because they saw the trees still laying there.
Well, some of the property is on the blue line, the canal, and some of the trees are still on the library property, the town property.
I don't think so. I think the library property has a line along the post office border that goes straight across to.
I do think so, and I've seen the plot. So it cuts around behind the library, goes to the blue line of the canal, which is about on the towpath.
Where the fence is, that goes back.
The fence goes back, about where the end of the fence is
Yes.
probably approximately the line.
Yeah, and so that line is kind of variable all the way back to that corner.
Well, no, the canal was pretty straight, and the line, well, from the front of the post office, it goes to a point, then behind the post office,
Yes.
and then down
At
the
an
canal
angle.
to the
Yeah,
fence.
and
the
I
6-foot
tried to clean
fence.
up as much as the library area as I could.
There's still a lot on there.
But there's
Yeah.
more there as well, yeah.
Yeah.
And I working with the neighbors there that live right there as well, to make sure that nothing falls and hits their property, so. But yes, we can work on it until July, and if we have issues, then we can let you know. Okay.
What else, Craig?
Oh, that was it. I think my time's up.
Well, we stole some of your time,
You
so.
can move to.
I'll get it back next
give him
time.
Extended time. If he needs more time, you can make a motion to give him.
We never had a time limit to begin with.
Right.
No, right.
So do I get the time? I'd hate to we want to get it cleaned up because it looks terrible, but if we gave him authorization to clean it up, then we should give him a chance to
But I
clean
need
it
to
up.
clarify, we didn't give authorization, the state gave him approval.
Okay, whomever.
But to go on the library property, we
We
did
gave permission
give
to
him
go on their
permission.
library
Yeah.
property though, too, I think. No?
I don't think there was any permission given, it was just a general
Right.
statement that Mr. Peavy had volunteered, he said he had the permits
And the insurance to cover that.
and the
Right,
insurance.
that's the
And
big issue.
from the DEC, the DOT, and the Canal Corporation. And he said he was gonna clean it up because he wanted the firewood.
Okay.
And I'm not real sure, it doesn't look like anything has been done there.
Really?
Well, what I'm saying is that it looks terrible, we want to get it
Yeah,
cleaned
it
up as
looks
soon as
terrible.
possible. Do we want to make a motion to give him a certain time frame before we put it out for other
Right.
people to apply for a DEC permit? 'Cause I
And
don't
that's
want
what Don said, he said, end of
Right.
July, if it's not done by the end of July, we can put it out there.
Okay, so let's make that official then.
Okay,
Okay.
so do you wanna make a
I'll
motion?
make
to
that motion that will give Don Peavy until July 31st to have his work done cleaning up in back of the area of the library and the DEC area or whatever it's called.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Thank you.
Aye.
Okay.
Now, when I said you can extend this, I was talking about Craig Smith's time to.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I said we stole some of his time.
Yeah, we stole some of his time, so if you wanna give him extend his
said.
5 minutes to speak, you can do that.
Right, we went a different, yeah.
So do you have anything else?
Yeah, just one thing. Next Sunday, I'm having a birthday party for my son. I don't know if I have to notify the town.
At the park?
No, just in Westernville.
Oh, no. Enjoy your birthday.
He's having really good cake and ice cream. Right, we'll be there.
We might come crash it, Bob.
Yes, it's at the park.
Pete?
Just echo again, Craig said about the BAR, I think, that was a hard job they had. I think Gar put them behind the 8 ball with the land. I'm glad to see that Steve's thinking about addressing the land too, because there is different qualities of the farm ground. And, it's not fair what some people have to pay compared to other people on the types of the soil types. The other thing I've got is that next week in the planning board, we've got a subdivision possibly for review, and then we'll get back into the helicopter project at the fire department.
Okay.
Right where you had him, Diane, can I, because of this recording camera and all this, we need to come up with a set of rules that the planning board knows about, that the zoning board knows about, so we're all on the same page.
For videotaping,
Yep.
okay.
I just wanted to say, the maps that you folks brought in, if we had seen those and if we had known they existed 5 or 6 months ago, this might have been a whole different scenario. It was really important to the VAR to see that, and to me also. We didn't know those maps existed, showing those slopes and the soils. If
They were in the master plan.
Yeah.
Those were used in every calculation though.
But if GAR had those, I think we might have seen a whole different
They're on the
situation.
county website.
They were?
Yes.
Those were Tug
You can get
Hill.
those
On the county website?
Yeah, you can go right on the county website and
They were a Tug Hill version, but they were in our master plan.
In general, the soil type map had 3 colors, yellow, green, and pink. There was a real little bit of yellow, a real little bit of green, and a whole lot of pink, and pink was poor soil. And then you pulled the other map over that showed the slopes and, well...
The topographic map, but all, that stuff's all on the website.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, Woods Valley don't have to be the only ski area in this town.
We get it.
You can ski
Okay.
behind my house.
Anything else, Pete?
I'm all
You
set.
ski down my driveway.
I just want to say that I was disheartened when I heard and hear that a few people wanted to not honor or respect the donation of the 4+ acres of land that was given to be used for recreational purposes only from a couple who have lived in the town of Western their entire life and had a combined 140 years of dedication and service to the residents of the town of Western. The wishes of the donor for the recreational use only on a piece of property known as the Town of Western Recreation Park and dedicated Schellenberg Park will be honored by the family to the legal deed covenant. The family of Art and Alberta Schellenberg will always continue to honor and respect the wishes of this being used for recreational purposes. Dad's sole purpose was to ensure that the residents, young and old, would have a place to play ball, as that was his favorite sport to watch and listen. The respect and accept this donation in the spirit that it was given, and it should not be used as a tool for any other purpose.
Thank you, Cora, and the town appreciates that donation because it's a beautiful park.
And just one other thing, as town justice, I have weddings here, and there's no way that anyone other than the family or whomever the couple is going to get married, that I'm going to notify that they're going to have a wedding here.
Yeah. Thank you, Cora. Phil, you've used up your 5 minutes.
I'll pass it on to the next.
Okay.
That's never stopping.
Steve DiMaggio?
Said he's having his son's birthday party.
Yeah,
Right?
I just have one announcement, and that I saw some surveyors on the Stokes Westernville Road. There's a culvert that's gonna be replaced between Frank Miller Road and the ALK. And he told me they're starting in roughly 2 weeks, and it's gonna take them a month. So we're gonna have, David, I think it's gonna affect you, it's gonna affect Mary as far as getting back and forth to work. They said they would notify us. You know, it is a county road, so,
Is it
They
gonna
would-
be passable?
pardon me?
You can pass through there,
You won't be able to for a month.
either way, or not either way, not even one
With
lane.
that, I have no idea what they're gonna do, but you have to figure the only place, like, you know, if you're coming in, cause you know, between 26 and 46, this is, 46 and 26, it's a major thoroughfare, you know, to get from one to the other, so.
You know who'd like a real good notification of this? It's the fire company.
Yeah, well, you know something, like I said, they said they were gonna notify, give us a 2 weeks notice. Nobody has gotten that notice, except for I just happened to go ask them what's going on as they were surveying, so.
We're gonna have set up with Lee Center to cover that side of the culvert.
Exactly, so,
and
you know what, I can't believe, I talked to a guy that came in there and cleaned that out right after the tornado. If you remember, 2 weeks after, we got that 6-7 inches of rain, and, we had washouts up there, we had washouts down here, and so a guy came to dig that out, he says, I'll put this culvert in 2 days. Now I talked to the surveyors, and they're telling me it's a month. So, I don't know what the fact of the matter is. I'm just saying what they told me when I had asked them, you know.
That's
when
where it took
started.
Canton Road.
I
That's
even,
exactly
you know
what they did over
what,
there.
Grant, I even suggested to them when I knew this project was going on, that you could you please do it, you know, I mean, it still would affect the fire department, but could you please do that between, or before Memorial Day or after Labor Day? You know, because you do have another business there, you know, the A-OK. It's gonna affect, you know, more people than you think, you know, so, you know, I just wanted to make that announcement when, I'm sure they're gonna notify you.
Yeah, I
Or
received
the-
it.
notified us.
Yeah, or you guys, yeah, that'd be a big one too, like Phil said, and about the fire department.
Steve, you know who it won't affect? The big nosed guy that sits in the office down in Utica.
Yeah, so,
Do you know who's doing it? The contractor?
they told me he told me who they were, and I wanna say, you know, a couple initials with Smith at the end.
DH?
No.
What's that, you know, do you
That's
guys know
his
that?
kind of work, yeah.
He's the one that did Cam Road.
Well, I know, you know, I know they had a, they put it out to bid,
Yeah, I know that.
so, you know, and I guess, obviously, he won that, so, you know, I just wanted to come here tonight and be the bearer of bad news.
2 or 3 days.
You know,
This
They're
detour
gonna
is
put
probably gonna
box
be a
culvert in on footers, is
5-mile
what I'm
detour.
guessing, it's not gonna be.
that's what, no, it's gonna be a box culvert, no doubt.
It's not gonna be a full precast box culvert, which they could do in a few days.
That I don't know.
Dinky stream, though.
What kind of, you know, well, you had the two, what they refer to as obsolete, you know, circular.
The pipes gotta come out.
So anyways, yeah, those have to come out and that box culvert, you know, is gonna be installed. So I don't see why that would, me personally, why that would take a month, but I'm just passing on what they told me. And, Amanda, I'm sure they'll get a hold of you, and Diane will hold of you, and when we find out, you know, we can get a hold of Mr. Anania.
Right.
When does this start? When
He
you
told me in 2 weeks, but he really didn't wanna, like, commit to that, you know what I mean? It says,
Make it 6
you know,
months.
Amanda, when were you paving on Quaker?
We don't have a definite date yet, but we're ready to rock and roll, so it's all up to
I didn't
Sue
know,
Coates'
because
schedule.
that's gonna be a lot of traffic.
Yeah, I know. I'll reach out to the county tomorrow and see if we can nail down a date.
you know, if you had to figure that out, if you were coming from 46, it seemed to me that River Road would be your detour, right? Where else can you turn one way or the other?
They're either gonna go up over Quaker, or they'd have to go all the way down to by the Colonial.
Right, and on the other end, you know, on the lee side, Sly Hill, you know,
What really cuts on that one is a lot of people try to go down under the dam, and that's a 3-ton bridge. And I don't really know if I wanna put 3-ton on that bridge and jump up and down it.
well, you know, I don't wanna assume anything, but I would seem to think that, they might have their detours mapped out already. I mean, I know that when I go to the county, or to Utica, they had the, Canton Road Bridge out, and they've replaced the culvert there. So, you know, it was an inconvenience for any, you know, not just me, but everybody else who traveled that direction.
And that was 20 feet under the surface of the road, too.
Yeah, I don't see that, I can't even imagine what they're gonna do there. All he said to me was there's gonna be a big hole in the ground.
Anything else, Steve?
That's all I have.
Okay. Carol?
No.
Ma'am?
No.
Next to John, okay. Annie?
Nope, I'm good, thanks.
Mary?
I checked, Open Book New York and see that 2020, 2021.
There's quite a few Nettletons, it's the lowest Nettleton
So
too.
2022 went its way there too?
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Yep.
So when Amanda's truck is ready, it should all be ready. and there
It
won't be any
doesn't
issues with
affect
It doesn't
that.
affect the truck,
It doesn't
right.
affect that, I don't know where that come from.
Nope, I don't either. Anything else, Mary?
If you're gonna get a loan for the truck,
There's nothing that says we're not gonna get a loan. Anything else?
that's it.
Randy? Back to the room.
Donna, Calandra. The zoning, April 10th, you had a hearing for that helipad
Okay, this isn't the zoning board.
No, I know, but, it was brought up in last month's meeting as well for the town board.
No, it wasn't.
On your May 8th.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, it was comments from the public.
That was in April.
Oh, that was April. Okay, the only quick thing I have to say is zoning board never gave us an environmental or an economic study. And there were a lot of questions from residents. And the zoning board just passed it on the day we had the hearing and sent it to Albany.
Okay, so you have to go to the zoning board with that. We don't have anything to do with that.
Okay, real quick then. The $700, is this a bonus or an increase in wages?
So
For
the town board recommended that the BAR members receive an additional $500. They already get $200 for the year. An additional $500 because of all the hours that they worked over the Memorial Day weekend.
Okay, that's like a bonus, not,
Well, it's not a bonus.
no.
It's a one-time.
It's a one-time, that's what I was wondering, is the salary's all gonna be raised?
No, it's a one-time thing, and Larry was very clear on his motion.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify that to make sure I understood it right. And on the truck, I thought, don't we need to get bids for something?
It's all municipal bids. When you go through municipal bid, that eliminates all the process. So it is a bid, yes.
It's a bid.
State bid.
So how many bids did you get for the truck?
What's that?
How many bids did you get for a truck?
No.
The state gets the best rate.
I'm just wondering, when something that size.
No, we're able to do with a state bid. The state already goes out and bids equipment across the board.
Oh, okay.
And so as a town, as a municipality, we're allowed to use that state bid.
You can, the state contacts numerous vendors in the
Right.
process, and there's a competitive bid on it.
Oh, and then all the towns just
Yep.
jump in and bid?
Many towns use state bid process for
Okay.
equipment.
I wasn't sure how that worked.
It's not just, and it's not just the state, it can be any public entity that's already bid that piece of equipment, we can use their public bid.
So all the local
So
towns.
we can use the bid of a school district, we can use the bid of a county, city, village.
All right, I gotcha.
Okay.
The bids can be from the town or the state, the county, whatever, you all.
The state puts out a bid
You all
list.
pull from those bids.
They put out a list, the state puts out a list and says, this piece of equipment, the state bid is this. You can either buy it under the state bid without doing your own bidding, or you can do your own competitive bidding. But we've always found that you just do better with the state bid.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering.
Okay. Okay, old business library grant, do we need to revisit that or no?
No.
Okay. Town hall project, so I called Robert at the bank to find out about bonding, so he had some questions. He wants to know specifically what grants we're going after. So I'm gonna look at the Tug Hill Commission listing, and he said there are grants out there right now for handicap bathrooms, so he thought that we should go after that. So he's specifically asking what grants we're going to apply for before bonding for either renovating this town hall or putting up a new town hall. He also said that he cannot give me a percentage right now for a bonding rate because it varies. You know, I mean, we may not go after bonding for a month from now, so he wouldn't be able to give us an accurate rate. He also said that his bonding, the bank will only bond for 10 to 15 years, I think. 10 to 15 years. Anything that's past that, we have to go through, he refers us to a different lending company.
There are options that have, he knows a lot about it.
K-Bell.
Yeah, so the Department of Agriculture Rural Development, who I work for, does, through their community facilities programs, finances, town hall projects, village hall projects, real estate projects, finances, snow plows and equipment and emergency things for rural villages and townships. So you'll probably at least want to give it a good look, because depending on the amount and depending upon how long the project is going to be financeable for, which would be determined by your bond counsel, You would find probably RD has better rates than commercial
Oh.
banks, and they'll fix it for a longer period of time. Some of the projects I'm looking at are in excess of 30 years, going all the way up to 38 years of financing with a lower fixed rate.
Great,
So,
okay.
some
So
good
I-
info for you.
So I would like to get the committee together again to say, okay, this is what we know,
Sure.
and then what grants are available, and what we're gonna do about securing some grants, because it sounds like that has to be step one. Okay?
I guess you're telling us.
Well, you're all very quiet. Revale, we already heard from Steve on that. FEMA, Amanda and I currently still participate in every other week calls with FEMA. They do have a list of where we're at with some of our projects. The bridges are still undetermined as far as getting FEMA support for those. We have closed out one, we got the $11,000 check, and I closed out another one, I think it's $33,000, so we should be getting that check as well. So that's where we're at with that. Do you have anything to add to that, Amanda?
No, I should have another project completed next week, so that I'll be
Okay.
able to
Great.
wrapped up.
Town Hall Annex, we don't have anything new. for-
Well, we're waiting to hear from
Joe.
Joe Farnham about the asbestos evaluation,
Yeah.
and we've been waiting a long time.
Right, so I called Fuller Insurance today and talked to Adam, and he's not familiar with Joe. So he's going to try and reach Joe and find out what he can find out, and then he's gonna get back to me, okay?
Okay, there is one other thing, it's actually about the tennis courts.
Yeah, I have that on my list
Okay.
down below, yep. State Controller's audit, so Susan has filed the 2021 AUD. She's currently working on the 2022, and then we will be caught up. So that's good news, that's going well. So I'm not issuing her check that we have in the vouchers until that 2022 is actually submitted, and then I'll pay her after that.
Can we get a copy of the 2021?
Yeah, yeah.
I think it'd be good for the board to look
Yeah.
that over.
Yeah. Okay, streetlights, there's a brand new pole over here, with that pole that everybody was concerned about, I called, and, it's gotta have the wires done yet.
Diller transfers.
Yeah.
Diller poles too, they got, I think they're gonna probably have to reset some new poles. There's no clearances for the other utilities. So in our haste, they set poles, not no clearances. So.
Which is
yes,
affecting our
two
streetlights.
poles, yep.
And so what does that have to do with the lights?
Everybody has to come down, and if they come down, they're not gonna make clearances. So they have to set another pole. So that pole's set, and I think the other one on the corner's gonna have another pole set. The one street light by your house that was
The
in.
intersection?
So that's it, was getting put in, but the one pole by Gifford and 46, I think that one's gonna have to be another new pole as well. Looking at the
Now,
clearances.
who does the poles?
National Grid.
So,
Because that one's tricky, because they had that pole set, and then the tractor trailer came through. And so they had to hurry up, just to grab another pole to get it back up in the air. So that's.
that's why it's.
Correct.
Should they give you a timeline at all?
They do what they have to do, so.
Okay. Highway Department radios is tabled. Site visit. So she reached out to me again and set the site visit for the insurance company like we did a couple of years ago, for June 20th at 4 o'clock. So Amanda, you'll be able to be here too for the Highway Department. So they're gonna meet us here at 4 o'clock at the town hall, and then we'll go to the different areas for the inspection.
Is the library included in that?
Yeah. All the town.
What day is the 20th?
It's a Tuesday.
Okay, so I'll let Mary Jo know.
Yeah, okay.
That's gonna run late.
Yep.
Yeah, because they go to all the locations.
Do you
It's
have
about 7
something you have to
o'clock.
do?
You know, I'm hoping I'm gonna be there, but I'm just thinking if
Oh.
we start at 4.
Yeah, yeah, because
Well,
last
you and
time
I
it took a
did
few
years
hours.
ago, it was half a day.
Yeah,
Yeah, when I did it, it was a few hours.
Well, Mary Jo closes at 8, so do one of you have a key?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So we bring flashlights.
Okay, new business, planning board vacancy?
Yeah, Peter Donahue Jr., the chairman of the planning board, passed me along a recommendation. His name is Justin Moret. He lives on Stokes Westernville Road. I vetted Justin through a number of residents. Everybody spoke very highly of him and thought he'd be a good fit for the planning board. So I would recommend him, but I would like to get the board's ideas before I make a motion.
I just feel the same way about Justin. I've known him for several years, and he's a go-getter, hard worker.
That's what
I've worked with him for a few years at Bartells, so, no, he's a good engineer.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds like he's got common sense, sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Does someone want to make a motion?
Yeah, I'll make that motion, that we appoint Justin Moret to the planning board to fill the vacancy that Mary held. I believe the term expires on December 31st, 2026.
Well, actually, I took the place on the planning board with the agreement that when you found somebody else, I would immediately resign. So
Right.
his will run from tonight until, you said December 2026?
Yeah, basically
Okay.
filling out your term.
Yeah,
where yours
filling out a
expires.
term that I was just sitting on.
Yep.
Yep. I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Tennis courts.
Tennis courts, okay, so the town of Lee generously gave us 2 old nets. And so Larry and I put those up today. The tennis court surface is in horrible shape. Nothing's been done with it. I think Bill Lux mentioned he remembered when it was, and it was a long, long time ago. Someone did look at it and made a recommendation for what should be done. And it's expensive. And there aren't a lot of people that do that. So the chances of us soliciting getting more than one bid are probably not gonna happen.
Because they're gonna have to pad it, seal it, and
Yeah,
color it.
they're not gonna do, like at Lee, they tore up their asphalt and did everything new. This would be a resurface on our asphalt. But they would repair the cracks. They can't guarantee that the cracks aren't gonna come back, obviously. But everything would be done. I believe they would paint both tennis lines and pickleball lines, 2 different colors. And
Pickleball is very
that's about it.
popular right now.
So who did we reach out to, Tommy?
The name of the company is, they're from Syracuse, so the same company that did the town of Lee's.
Yeah, we got a quote from them a while ago.
Yeah.
A long
Tom, you
Yeah.
mean Tom Cole?
Yeah.
I don't think he's in that business.
Well, if all they're doing is just resurfacing it, they're just gonna coat it and then color it.
They coat it with their
It's a special coating.
There is, it's
Yeah.
it's padding, but the padding's that thick, and they're not padding, it's not your traditional, tennis court.
From what I've heard, nobody local can do what they do.
Okay, so, yeah, I'd be interested to see what they,
Yeah, it's a specialized field,
yep.
not just generic. So we have not spent much money on recreation in years, because we haven't had a summer rec program, so while this is going to be expensive, I think a good way to view it would be in terms of, we haven't spent anything on recreation, this thing's overdue. My recommendation would be to move forward and have it done.
Do you remember like ballpark amount?
It's probably at least $25,000.
I think way back, Tom Stevens got a quote for the surface over there, and it was around $25,000.
So
Yeah.
what account would you look at taking that out of?
Oh, with what?
What account would you take that out of to cover the costs?
Oh, well, what,
Playgrounds, we only have $7,000.
for Cleveland, is that what you said?
We have money in the contingent account too.
That's probably where it would have to come from.
Or the buildings, equipment too. You
Buildings,
got several
equipment.
sources, like
Yeah.
I agree with Len, we haven't invested any money in recreation, now we got a beautiful new playground there.
Right.
It's already being used.
There's been
You got
a lot of interest in pickleball expressed.
Yeah, so, and if you don't surface it, it's just gonna make the
gonna
pavement
get
in worse and worse shape.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't have any problem with either one of those accounts. So we still have to put it in the legal notice, so to look for bids, right?
It can be waived if you make a finding that there's no other companies that can do it, then you don't have to go through that process. It's under first of all, we gotta get an estimate and see if it's under the limit for a public works contract. I think it
What
would
is
be.
that limit?
37, right?
It's higher than 30 now.
It's under, it's
35.
It's under that.
So as long as it's under that, then we can make a finding that we couldn't, we can just make a finding that we made a diligent search and we could only find one company that could make a bid. And then make a record of it.
Town of Lee went through the same thing. That's why they hired these people, so that's part of our diligent search is if we couldn't find anybody.
So can you get an updated estimate?
Yep.
So if we resurface that tennis court, where do we stand with the fencing? And I know that we have a bill that we submitted to Joe.
Fence is done around the tennis court.
Oh, it's gone or it's replaced?
It's done.
It's
The
done.
fence is all done.
That was done well done.
Oh, guess I haven't paid
You don't
attention.
go that way, huh?
It looks great.
She
Bob.
drives too fast.
You hurt his feelings, look at
I know, the way you looked at me, I was like, whoa.
So worried about the fence. Phil, you know this.
I haven't been there neither. Brent, how many square feet is it?
I know, I'm
Oh,
terrible.
no, it's a lot. I'd say it might be 150 feet by 100 feet, something like that, at least.
I don't know.
Because, I mean, if you were looking at just making that a blacktop parking lot, you're looking at about $350 a square foot just to pave it as a parking lot. So these numbers really aren't that scary that you're
Crazy.
throwing out here.
Yeah, it's just we didn't have a line in the budget for it.
Yeah.
So you said it could be taken from the contingency
Well,
account.
there's two accounts, the other one or else Larry said the buildings and equipment account.
Now, I can get the estimate quickly.
Okay.
Can we move right along so that they can try to schedule it as soon as possible?
Yeah, why don't you make a motion?
Okay, I'll make a motion that we solicit a bid from the company in Syracuse, same one that did the town of Lee's. And we can review it.
Or do you just want us, or can we just say that if it's under 35,000?
Just give them an upper limit.
Not to exceed.
Right,
Not to
right.
exceed.
Okay,
Yeah.
Okay, great.
how do you want that to be worded? Motion for him? He
That's
doesn't
what I
need to
said.
get bids.
Right, so,
He's gonna get the bids, but they still gotta be signed by the supervisor. So you're authorizing the supervisor to sign a contract
Not to exceed.
not to exceed whatever it is
35,000.
Okay, got it.
for resurfacing the tennis
Tennis
courts.
court, yep.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Right.
Okay.
So hopefully that'll stimulate a little
Right.
activity.
That's all I had on my agenda unless
Geez.
someone else has
I've
any.
got one item. The contract for our highway workers, the union contract for our highway workers is due to be renegotiated this summer and fall. So I want to say this for the benefit of the members of the public that are here. That cannot be done in public session. That will be done through a series of executive sessions. No information will be given with regard to those union contract negotiations. We sign a privacy and a confidentiality agreement with the union with regard to that, and there will be no public discussion of the union, proposed union contract or its negotiations.
And the employees are under that same.
And the employees are under the same confidentiality agreement.
With that being said, Excelis's premium is going up 9.7%.
Go figure.
Bring that to me.
Yeah, and it's gonna affect our budget, so.
Okay.
Anything else?
I don't need to know when you get your executive sessions.
Right.
No,
Do
I don't need to know.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Ryan, it's you next month.
I'm not technologically, nope.
Well, she does good, you know, it's good to try because, and if not, borrow somebody's 9-year-old.
Yeah, that's true,
They'll have it figured out in like New York